Introducing all the light novels that need attention. Hello, this is Takeshi. This video is an introduction to the light novels that should be released in October, so I personally want to highlight some of the light novels that will be released in mid-October. We will be picking up new light novels that are currently being published. We will introduce them to people who want to know the latest trends in light novels, as well as people who don't usually read light novels, so that they will be interested in light novels. Please use this video to find the work you are interested in. Also, if you found this video very helpful, please click the high rating button. Let's get on with it. Firstly, let's start with the part 2 of Fantasia Bunko, which will be released on October 18. The first volume I would like to introduce from the paperback is the latest volume of the New Generation Battle Fantasy by Yo Mizusawa, who worked on the 4th volume of Alubi's Orient Tale. The first volume is now on sale. It's March 2022, so it's been a year and a half since I've published a new book. Mr. Mizusawa has been doing a lot of novelizations of things like Gridman, so this is my first new book in a while. It's about a boy who falls in love with a goddess who lives in Tenkai. The main character of this work is the president of a company who steps into the battle of... It is characterized by quite high specs, such as the fact that it has a lot of features. Also, it has a bit of a tacky character, so it's good that the author's fetish is hidden quite a bit. As is typical of Mizusawa-sensei, there are plenty of heated battles, and the story is in control. The goddesses engage in a fierce battle to decide the outcome. It feels like a special effects-like battle, and the author's unique characteristics are utilized in the 12-minute movie. The goddesses that appear also have one or two quirks. There are a lot of characters that are pretty dangerous in a certain way. The issue will depict the ultimate battle with the goddess, who is said to be closest to the imagination, so it looks like the scale of the battle scene will be quite large. There are also illustrations of the character turning into a gigantic monster. It's really cool, and it looks like there's going to be some turbulent developments in the romance part, so I'll be keeping an eye out to see how the romantic comedy part turns out as well, both the battle and the romantic comedy. It's a series that you can enjoy a lot, so if you're interested, check it out. This is the latest volume of Public Servant, Shinobu Nakata's Vices, Volume 7, a very special everyday fantasy in Bunko. It's becoming quite popular. It's like a robot, a loveless region. The main character, Shinobu Nakata, who is a civil servant, lives with a mysterious elf from another world. The story is about cross-cultural exchange, as the elf lives in the different culture of Japan. However, the main character is very edgy, so it's a strange series. Also, the main character is working to improve the welfare of the ward office, so it's okay. There are also stories related to welfare, so it's not a lame series. There are times when unusual subjects are highlighted, or rather even after looking at it again, I can't see any vision of it being released outside of Fantasia Bunko, which is pretty amazing. However, as the story progresses, it's not just the work elements but the existence of elves. There is quite a lot of emphasis on the story. As the story progresses, the depth of the story will also expand. It is a series with a unique atmosphere, even among Rano, so once you read it, you will feel a mysterious charm. In terms of the story, it is quite a climax. It seems that we are getting closer to 9 in the latest edition. It was written in the synopsis that it would be a straight-up story. Also, I don't know what will happen with the heroine race, so I'll keep an eye on things like that. If you want to read a slightly strange everyday fantasy, check out this series. This is a secret treasure of a young ladylike bottom-level streamer. She didn't notice that she forgot to turn off her stream and beat up a fellow streamer, but it turns out that the person she was dealing with was a young and strongest annoying streamer, so it became a legend that it became such a buzz that it became an idiot. Well, the title is long. I might did redo the frame video 4 times. By the way, the author is Hirotaka Akagi, who wrote the Meet Manzuki de Climax Female Spirit series. Dungeon-based fantasy is becoming popular in some circles. That's what people are saying. But this work, what do you think? The story of this work is exactly as the title suggests, but it starts with a weak dungeon strategy streamer, with only 3 subscribers defeating a famous streamer who destroys dungeons while conquering them. It's going to be a start that goes bad all at once. By the way, the main character of this work wears a dress and has a somewhat fantasy-like atmosphere, but after checking the various serials, it seems like it's a modern fantasy. The main character's name is Karen Yamada, and she's a 16-year-old high school girl, a young lady from a death frame town. I'm a streamer, which is a lot better, and being a young lady and streamer reminds me of the VTuber 100 million Tabasame. From the author's point of view too, it looks like it's going to be a powerful and silly slapstick comedy, so if you want to read a funny story, you should check it out. I'm also curious about what will happen in the future with modern dungeon distribution, so I'm planning on checking out this work. Be sure also to check other works on Akashic Bunko, like Paradise Killer, Fortnite, and Star Apple Okuen Goroshi 4 euro to Hoshi no Ringo. Pre-order it today. This is Fantasia Bunko, which will be released on October 20th. First of all, this is the 4th volume of Heavenly Sword Twin Stars. This is a fantasy work of the Election of the Three Kingdoms version by Riku Nanano, who is responsible for the Little Duchess's Home Tutor series. This is a beginner's work as a warrior in a Chinese-style world. This is a series that I would like to recommend to everyone. The main character, who lived as a hero, is reincarnated in a future world, and the setting is Chinese-style fantasy, with a catchy setting that incorporates future reincarnation elements. A story that runs through the troubles of war. You can enjoy the classic war machine fantasy. The main character is cool in the battle part, and the heroine's growth elements make it a good read. I feel that the characteristics of Riku-sensei are very much alive in this area, an epic story with some connections in the past world. It's also good that the story continues to unfold. In the previous volume, the war part was getting more intense, and in the latest volume, the main characters begin to fight back, and the story accelerates towards the unification of men. As a rare reader of Chinese fantasy, it is very good, so please pick it up at a time when there are few functions. Next is Akashic Record, Volume 23. This series has long been popular as Fantasia Bunko's signature work. This year marks the 9th work since the start of the series. Volume 23 will be released this month, and Volume 24 will be released next month. It has been announced that the main story will come to a grand conclusion. As for the cover, when the 2 volumes are connected, it becomes a single illustration, which is suitable for the finale. I personally really like this kind of thing. In this volume, the mysterious magic teacher, Glenn, and him students fight against a powerful enemy that plunges the world into chaos. This work concludes a story that spans 34 volumes, including a collection of Nema short stories, a classic fantasy depicting an epic battle over something called the Akashic Records. This is free for fans of the series. It's a bit sad when a long-running series ends, but there are quite a few ads that let you safely reach the end. In the latest volume, which is one step closer to the finale, the main character Glenn gets lost in a strange world where a loved one lost their lives. It looks like it will be a story that takes place quite a bit in the past, as you will be forced to make decisions in a kind world. It will probably be quite exciting as it is just before the last week of the series. We will be going sightseeing for 2 consecutive months, so avid fans of the series can hope for a big ending and follow it until the end. This is an introduction to the new series. First of all, here is the refined thief and her joker. I'm a rare thief reader in light novels, so this is a new work with a rather interesting angle. By the way, this work was released as a winning work of the 35th Fantasia Award, announced last year. It has taken a lot of time to complete the application. It seems like they have improved a lot since the current application, and the level of completion seems to have improved considerably. The story starts with a lone king wolf with a right hand who steals magic. Seems to be a fantasy story that begins when Ash meets a mysterious beautiful girl named Noah, who calls herself a neat answer. It seems that there are fantasy elements such as magic. Looking at the illustrations, the heroine has a wizard-like atmosphere, and there is also a buddy element, so it will be interesting to see how the relationship between the two develops. As far as looking at the battles during the war, the story is different from the charm of the character. It seems like there were quite a few points out about the roughness of the development, so I'm not sure how that part could be improved. I wonder if they're trying such an interesting strategy. They are publishing all of the current version of the work in each reading. In other words, the book version to be released must have adjusted the story accordingly. I would advise to read the original version first and then compare it with the book version. It looks interesting too. If you are interested, please check it out. This is the reason why she chose me. This is a brand new work from Osho. I'm concerned that the main character in the title is the second one, but apparently it's a straight one-on-one type of youth. The main character of this work is named Saito Haim, and And because there is a basketball ace in the same high school who is in a same-sex alliance and has an equal training in martial arts skills, people around him call him Second. It's a pretty unpleasant name to call her, but she's not an introvert, but she has a calm personality, so she seems to be in a position where she doesn't really stand out. And the heroine is very popular in high school. She is a beautiful girl who is very popular, and it seems that we will get closer to her outside of school. Also, some of the illustrations show the heroine relaxing in loungewear, so it seems that she is quite close to her. It's a nice atmosphere. It seems that the heroine has a strong desire for the main character, so it seems like it will be a pure love story. The setting itself is not that new, but this new story does get a high rating, so if you like romantic comedies, you should definitely check out the story. I hope you enjoy it. If you are interested, please check it out. Next up is Magical Detective Kurumi Tokisaki's. This is an unexpected new book. I'm sure some of you got it from the title, but this is the new Data Live side story series with Tokisaki Kurumi as the main character. The author and illustrations are both done by Data Live's Kushi Tachibana and Soneko, so it feels like a legitimate sequel. The story of this work is about Kurumi Tokisaki, who lives as a female college student, and a detective who specializes in magic and craft crimes. It seems to be an irregular mystery work that plays an active role as an event where mysterious phenomena occur. Since the problem is resolved through deduction, Dal fans may be quite surprised by this unexpected approach. Actually, in another series, Bullet was also the main character, so he was given preferential treatment this time around. Although it is a new series, it seems that the main series of Data Live is the final part 5 of its own series. This is a normal after story. I'm curious to see how many other characters will appear. Regarding Dao, it has been decided that the 5th season of the TV anime will be produced, so there are signs that it will end, even after the main story concludes. For your information, there's already a Fantasia Bunko event before this video posted, so there's probably some new information coming out soon. I'll introduce it in another video, so please look forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how things will develop in the future, including the side stories of Fantasia Bunko. In addition to that, other works featured including Aristocratic Daughters, Used to Me Volume 3. After my sister enrolling in Girls' Night School, I became a hero Volume 4. I'm a girl too, right? The junior I thought was my best friend was actually a beautiful girl. I'm a big fan of romantic comedies, including fantasy. If you're interested in this, please check it out. It will be also released on October 20th. Next, it's GCBKO Bunko. This time, I'm going to pick up just one title from the lineup. The title is The Cutest is Amamiya. The second is Me Volume 2. This is a romantic comedy with quite a quirky setting around the main character. The first volume was quite interesting. The main character of this work is a beautiful model who is popular all over the world, but his true identity is actually a high school boy attending an ordinary high school. The main character is a cross-dressing boy who turns out to be a love coin. The main character, who has the strongest self-esteem and insists that she's the cutest in the world, is a weirdo, so the production story unfolds in order to make a plain girl who doesn't stand out in class cute. It's a pretty quirky setting though. The main character is a self-deprecating heroine. I'm enjoying this refreshing and positive romantic comedy because it pulls me in hard. In that sense, the first volume turned out to be a pretty good romantic comedy. The heroine's popularity at school increases due to the production of the main character, but in the latest volume there's a new story. The heroine also appears, and it seems like the slapstick romantic comedy is accelerating. It's a romantic comedy produced by a cross-dressing boy. It's an unusual work, but it's sure to be interesting, so please check it out. GCBKO Bunko will also be releasing 2 new series. Bokonyu Tachi ni Totsiho Saritaga Modore tu Iwe Rahurtemo e Retemo Ma Oso Modorima Shiyu. A guy was banished by the big breasts, but even though I was told to go back, it was already too late. I'm going back. Miyuki Ruria's Hitokiri Shoujo. Koshak Rejo no Goi ni Naru Hitakiri's girl becomes a bodyguard for a duke's daughter. Both a fantasy, sometimes erotic new series. Please check it out too. Reading the title aloud is quite a punishment game, isn't it? This was an introduction to the new book that will be released in mid-month of October. There are a lot of new series that seem to be quite addictive, so it might be a good idea to take the plunge and and give them a try. What did you think of the lineup this time? If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comments section. That's all for this video. I'll be introducing new books next week, so please support the channel. Please hit the like button with all your heart. I would be happy if you could watch another video. See you in the next video.